Hello there,
Hello there.
and welcome to Corellian Chinwag, part of the What If Qui-Gon Didn't Die podcast. My name's Jamie,
And I'm Shaun.
and this is our little catch-up chat. This is what we do every Friday. We just sit and we talk smack and cheese.
I like the way that's called on that. Smack and cheese chats.
Yeah, it's what it's all about. You get a chance to get to find out more about us and what we're up to, and then on Monday we get back into the normal Star Wars chat.
There we go. The thing that people should be here for.
But we love them both.
We do love them both.
They're both our children.
That's
We
it.
love them equally.
We do.
So what have you been up to this week, Shaun?
Nothing much during the week. I did go bowling at the weekend.
Yeah, I saw some pictures.
Yeah, my skill level has dropped considerably.
Now I saw the scores, and I wanted to ask you, when you posted a picture of the scores, that the names were omitted.
Oh right. The bottom score was mine.
Okay.
But that was the second game. But the first game I did get over 100.
Did you?
Yeah.
Pixar, it didn't happen. You know how it is.
Well, this is it, and this is the same as the videos I took. All the videos of just us fluking them,
Yeah.
because we didn't record the good ones because we're too busy being excited. That we had some quite good shots. I didn't get a single strike though,
Not at all.
because I used to go quite a lot. Obviously, being a carer and stuff, you go bowling quite a lot. Kids like it and stuff like that. And then, so I used to be quite good. And then when I went Saturday, I was like, oh dear. I really
It's all gone.
It's all gone. I can't. I can't even. It's like the axe throwing thing all over again. But by the end, I didn't even sort of get it back.
No.
Do you know what I mean? I did my normal stance and how I normally do it. But because when I used to go, I used to be well over 100.
Yeah.
And I get at least 1 or 2 strikes per game, and it'd be pretty cushy. But I didn't get a single strike.
Yeah, I haven't been bowling for ages, but
It's a good crack.
yeah, I've always really enjoyed it. My problem with bowling is a bit like the cinema. It's pricey for the time that you're there.
It is. It's very pricey, and where we went on Saturday, and I'm gonna have a little mini moan now. It was and it was a Saturday, so I'll forgive them that every family in the country wants to cram into this little bowling place. I get it.
Were you at the local one?
The next one along.
Oh, okay.
So Basingstoke.
Yeah, another one.
The other one, yeah. So I pre-booked.
Yeah.
Because I thought, right, I'll pay for it now because I can guarantee when we get there we won't get a game, which is fine.
Yeah.
Showed up, absolutely heaving. Couldn't even walk in the door, really.
Of course it was.
Of course it was, because it were a Saturday, and I understand that. But when you get to the desk, and I don't know why this always annoys me, but I've prepaid for a time slot. And they go, oh yeah, I can see your name on the system, but there's a 25-minute delay.
That's no good, is
You're
it?
like, that is basically one game's worth of time for 2 people anyway.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's more of you, there's more than that. But yeah, so, and then we had to wait the time it took to play one game, and it was so busy we had to sit on these 2 crummy little chairs with a drink,
Just waiting
for this little buzzer thing to go off, and I don't know why it just gripes me because I've prepaid.
Yeah.
If somebody finishes at 6 o'clock, don't chuck another family on there.
No.
And wait for them to finish. You say, right, we need to keep that lane clear because we've got 2 bookings at 6:20, so we need 2 lanes clear, essentially. Keep that one spare, and if they don't show up by 5:30, we hand it out.
Yeah. If you're late, that's on you, isn't it?
And that and you think that's what would happen, but it don't.
No.
Because you see people who haven't booked come in and just go straight on because you've walked in just a bit after them.
Yeah.
And even though you've got a booking, you can see them look round going, oh, I shouldn't have sent them over to that one. It's like, you should know.
Yeah, use your brain.
I've prepaid. It's all on a list. They look for your name, and I'm like, surely there's just a list there of pre-booked time slots.
Yeah. What?
On their system. Where has it come from? They type in my name and go, oh yeah, there you are. You like that? I should have been there all day. I pre-booked it Thursday.
You might as well just turn up and pay as you get there.
Well, this is it. Yeah. And if I've got to wait half an hour, what's the difference?
Yeah. Right.
Anyway, gripes aside, it were quite good. Oh no, another gripe's this. I played some arcade games. They're £1 now. Do you remember back in the day when it was like 10p?
Really?
To play your little arcade games.
Yeah.
I played an arcade game of Mario Kart.
Okay.
Now, I came first.
Nice.
Right? And I thought, right, I've put my quid in. I've come first. I'm going to get to do another race here because I assume you've got to win to carry on or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Nope. The game then said that I had lost, game over, and just went back to the title screen.
You lost.
It said I lost, even though I came first, and I thought that was £1.
That's
for one race.
Scammy, isn't it?
You know, because it's not even tokens anymore. It's literally just straight up £1. Where you used to get 5 tokens for a quid or something for these funny games. Yeah, honestly, because I haven't been in so long, like it's all changed a little bit, and I was like, good job I've got a few pound coins lying around. But yeah,
that's
crazy
annoying.
eyes coming out. I did win a Mario Kart.
Steam coming out your ears.
Yeah,
I am the winner.
Yeah, but no, it was good fun. Didn't use the barriers for the bowling.
Oh well, that's good.
Yeah, I don't really like using them because I think
because you're an adult.
Yeah. But not only that, if I'm going to be rubbish, I'll be rubbish naturally. but yeah. So and then that was it. And then as per usual, cooked a roast on Sunday. Yeah.
Nice.
What about you, mate?
I went to see Tom Davis, comedian.
Oh yeah, you said you were going to see him. Yeah.
That was on Saturday. Yes, Saturday. He was very funny.
Yeah.
He's very tall. He's big.
Yeah, he's a tall dude, isn't he?
He is. Yeah, Sherry bought those tickets. We sat quite close to the front actually, which was nice.
Did you get gobbed at?
No.
Oh, good.
No, it was all, we weren't that close.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
We were about we were row F, so that'd be 6 rows back. So it's,
okay, you weren't in the firing line.
No. But actually, to be fair, he wasn't. He wasn't one of those comedians that goes in and just absolutely hammers the front row.
Oh, okay.
So he had a bit of banter, a bit of laugh with some of the people there, but nothing.
He didn't pick anybody out.
Oh yeah, it wasn't. Nobody's coming away from there going, "I felt picked on there."
Yeah.
So it was good. It was funny. So that was a nice little trip out in the afternoon.
Yeah. Where did you go for that?
That was in Salisbury.
Oh, nice.
So not too far.
Not too far away. Yeah.
What was that? The Playhouse.
The Playhouse in Salisbury. Yeah.
So that was, really enjoyed that. Before that, on Thursday, so I've got a little gripe.
Go on then.
So Thursday, my car was due in for MOT and service.
Right. Yeah.
Dropped it off. Everything was fine. I picked it up on Friday because I was working on Thursday afternoon. So
yeah, I saw you Friday morning.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
you bumped into me after you picked it up, didn't you?
I followed you.
Yeah, followed me. There's a strange man following me with his sunglasses on. What does he want?
Yeah. So I took the car home. I obviously I don't go very far. The garage is just down the road,
isn't it? Yeah.
Went to work that evening. When I came back, I realised something was not right with the car.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was down on power, and I couldn't work out why. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if it was. I didn't know, but it felt I had an inkling as to what the
you know
was.
how it drives. You drive it every day.
Yeah. And I thought, and this is going to be really boring for anybody who doesn't care about cars. This is going to be really boring for the next few minutes, but I don't care. it's my gripe.
Yeah, you have your gripe. Go on.
So my inkling was that it was air related.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to get into the why or how car engines work, but you need air.
Yeah.
So it felt like it was struggling to breathe. I wasn't struggling for fuel because the rev counter was doing what it's supposed to be doing. The power was from the fuel was fine. It wasn't stuttering. That would be a fuel sign.
Yeah.
It just felt like it was choking. So on the Saturday morning / afternoon, I got out to the car, opened the bonnet. I thought I'll check the air filter because it's been serviced and the air filter is part of the service. So I thought I'll find it in there somewhere.
Yeah.
It's the air filter in my car is buried. You've got to pull out quite a lot of stuff to get access to it.
Yeah.
So it took me a little while to get through it, but I pulled it apart, got in there, found the dust cover for the air filter was still attached. So it hadn't been taken out properly, so it wasn't really getting the air in. I thought, that must be that then.
There's why, yeah.
I didn't investigate much further because why would anybody go further than that? It's a service item, so you get to where you need to and then you stop. You don't go further. There's no need to investigate. put it all back together. I didn't get to drive it for a couple of hours, but when I took it out to drive, I thought, this still isn't right. There's something not quite right with it. At this point, it's dark.
Yeah.
So I have to just sort of knock it on the head and say, right, I'll deal with it tomorrow.
It's tomorrow's job. Yeah.
So next day, and this whole time I'm thinking I'm going to have to call this garage on Monday and say something's not right with the car. I've dropped it off. It was perfect before, and
now it's out of service. It's potentially worse. Even though it should be running better.
Yeah. Taken my car to the garage, brought it home and fixed it.
Yeah. I've done your job for you, lads, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah. So then I get back in there on Sunday. Bearing in mind the first day, I think I spent a couple of hours sort of pulling apart and getting into it. And then I had people talking to me as well, like neighbours and whatever, which is nice. I don't mind talking to neighbours. It breaks up the day when you've sort of got... When you're trying to sort of do all that sort of work.
Yeah.
So the next day I get back under the bonnet and I'm having a look. And I think, right, where does the pipe from the air filter lead to? Let's have a look at that next. Let's see if there's a blockage. Let's see if there's something in there.
Yeah.
I find that pipe, and then I discover at the other end of that pipe, it's not connected to the hose. That there's two parts that should be connected to. One of the hoses that's in there, it's not properly connected to that, and where it looks like it connects to the turbo, it's also not seated properly on that either. So the turbo's failing to spool up because the air is not coming in.
There's no airflow going into
yeah. So without getting too technical and nerdy about it,
it was suffocating.
It was suffocating. Yeah, it was struggling, and because it's a turbo engine, the turbo needs to work.
Yeah,
you can't bypass it. There's no way around it.
Yeah.
So it was a simple fix.
Yeah.
I just attached the hose properly.
Yeah.
Plugged it all back in. Shut the bonnet, took it out for a drive, bang.
Voila.
Back to normal.
Yeah. But you shouldn't have had to do that, though. So what do you think they did? Did they pull the hose out by mistake and then just think, oh, I'll leave that and he'll have to bring it back?
So I took the car to, I'm not going to name the garage because I'm sure it's not the sort of thing that happens normally, but it's a chain garage. But I suspect that it's an apprentice or it's somebody.
Yeah.
Somebody with limited knowledge. So to get to the air filter, and I didn't know this until I started pulling the car apart myself.
Yeah.
That to get to the air filter, you have to take off several panels of plastic covering. Then you have to take off one of the cross arm sort of struts. Oh,
right. No, I'm with you.
Yeah. I had to remove that just to get access to the bolts behind to then remove the cover for the air filter box.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure, like most people would, you try and find the easiest way to get in to these things. And from the look of it, you would take off the hose after. I think they've looked at it and gone, if we take the hose off after, the pipe off after, then we can get in this way.
Right.
But actually, that's not how it works, and you wouldn't get in that way. You need to pull the whole car apart for it to work.
Yeah.
But maybe they've pulled it apart, then realised they had to go the other way and didn't connect the rest of it back together properly.
Oh, I see. Could have been an innocent mistake.
Oh yeah, I'm not. In my mind, I think they've got the new guy in there. Doesn't really know. It's not dead easy. Like most cars are dead easy. You sort of open it and the airbox is right there and you can just pop it open.
Pop it out.
Yeah, it's super simple, but this is a bit more involved. So I don't blame anybody. The only thing I would say is when they put the air filter in there and they left the little dust cover on, perhaps they should have taken that off at the very least.
Yeah.
But anyway, that is my little rant.
But you still had to take the car apart.
And I'll be honest.
I know you enjoy that.
I enjoy that. I don't mind that at all.
Yeah, you're a tinkerer.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is annoying, and it is annoying. Don't get me wrong; it's nothing but annoying. But when you open that bonnet up and you go, "Where's my spanners?
Yeah.
Where's my socket set? I'm getting involved here. I like it. Put the gloves on. Let's get involved. Yeah. That's like my little happy place.
Yeah.
But sometimes you think, I don't know. I wasn't planning on doing this today.
Yeah. Oh, I shouldn't have to do this.
I shouldn't have to do it.
An expert should have been looking at it. Somebody gets paid the job.
Yeah.
I mean, but then again, how many different types of car are there?
Oh.
They have to be on top of how many different variants of engine
Yeah.
chassis build and all of that. And then they've got to remember how to take apart each different car they get in.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I wouldn't be able to keep up with it. And, you know, no way. Not even if I was a trained mechanic.
The only... So I would... In the past, I've done my own servicing because it's... For me, it's dead easy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
It's not a problem. The downside is the disposal of the oil.
Yeah.
And the disposal of all the old parts, and they're all oily or they're full of fuel or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's just, I can't be bothered with that. And I thought, well, it's got to go in for MOT, so chuck the service on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably cost twice as much as if I did it myself, but I don't have to think about anything else. I should just get the car back and it'll be just good to go. And I'll just hop in and be like, yeah, great, job done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, I didn't realise this, but the cabin filter is something else I'm going to have to change myself.
Oh, really? Do they not do that in the service then?
I would have thought so. I thought it would just be all filters and everything, but apparently not. So, never mind. That's another little job for me in the future.
When you next have a day off.
Yeah.
And you're not editing this.
And I'm not, I'm not eyeballs deep in Audacity.
Yeah. That sounds rather wrong. No, yeah. I'm with you. Well, you're a brave man than me because I can change a battery in that, like I've said to you before, but actually getting my arse into the bonnet is a bit of a different thing. See, I'd need somebody over my shoulder telling me what to pull out, to be honest.
So it was. I had a conversation, like I say, with one of the neighbours. He stopped by. He pulled up after finishing work, and he was just asking me questions, and he's like, "Oh, what's going on with your car?" So I sort of explained it, and he said, "Oh, you're quite handy with that sort of thing." And I said, "Well, you know, I'm not bad." I've said I'm a big fan of learn by doing. Yeah. So I just get involved. Like, he said, "Well, what if you can't put it back together?" I was like, "Well, I can put it back together. Yeah. I pulled it apart. I can put it back together. Yeah. If I think I can't do the job, I stop where I stop, put it back together, and then I get somebody else to look at it. But if I can do it, I'm going to be doing it. I don't have a ramp. I've got some axle stands, but I can't get too involved. And also, it's my only car, so it needs to be running.
Yeah. Yeah, you got no backup, have you, to go and get the kiddies or whatever.
Thankfully, I don't work too far away.
Yeah,
I can hop on the bike or I could walk.
Yeah,
but I know my limits. I think. Yeah, or I push my limits and take it as far as I go. Yeah. But yeah, it's just interesting. I always find it interesting when I talk to people about stuff that. When you do DIY stuff or you do any sort of repairs and bits and pieces, some people are they cannot get their head around it. They can't understand. Oh, how do you do that? How do you do? Well, once upon a time, I didn't know how to do anything. Yeah, and over time, you just try it. Yeah, and you make some mistakes, and then you go, oh, next time
I'll do this a bit differently.
Yeah, next time I'll stop and think about it for a second, or I'll buy this tool and it'll make that easier, or do this.
Or I'll do it this way round instead of that way round. Yeah, no, I quite like that. It's I mean, it's not a car, but I think that about because I took my airbrush apart the other day and give it a deep clean. It's only a cheap little one, but it was blocked, so I did have to actually take it apart and take this little needle out, and I'd never done that before, and I thought, if I break this needle, I'm just gonna have to buy another one because I ain't got no spares. Yeah, and I need to do this, do that. And I thought, I've only read a little bit on how to clean them, but I just need to do it. Because if I don't, it's going to sit there and I'm never going to be able to use it again. Yeah. And now I've cleaned it once. It took me ages, because it's only like a couple of components, because it's only a cheap airbrush. But now I've done it once, I'm like, right, next time, I'm going to be so much better at doing this. Yeah. Or I won't even need to deep clean it again, because now I know how this component works after taking it apart. I know how to stop paint from drying in the well, stuff like that. So I'll be like, right, I know for a fact I've got to clean that out after I've done this or that with this certain paint to stop it from caking up in there.
Yeah.
And then it's like that thing, isn't it? You learn, so it makes it better for you next time. I know it's not a car, but it's the same principle.
So,
isn't it?
so how easy is it to pull apart then? Is it like a minute and you can have it in pieces?
Yeah. My one's, like I say, my one's only a cheap one.
So that's good then. So after you've used it once, now you can just pull it apart, clean it while it's still fresh.
Shouldn't even have to pull it apart, really.
Oh, okay.
It's because now I've cleaned it once, I know where the component is that I can do a sort of service clean while I'm using it
to
stop it from clogging up in the well. That's what I mean. So now I've deep cleaned it once. Now I'm like, right, well, if the paint's, because it's gravity fed, so the paint goes down into there, and I didn't realise some of the paints I use dry really quick in the well. So now if I put the cleaner and the thinner in there and do it after each sort of mini session, then I shouldn't have to take it apart again for at least like another, I don't know, couple of weeks or something. You shouldn't have to take it apart every time you use it. But yeah, it was it's quite good to do it.
Yeah, good.
And it's that thing like you were saying, you don't know how to do it at some point, and then you teach yourself how to do it.
We take this podcast as a prime example.
Yeah.
I don't know how to use any of this software. I didn't know anything about the microphones. I didn't know anything about how any of it worked. And then just sat down and sort of went, right, what do I need?
Yeah.
And we just got into it and just, I sit here with the software and I go, right, how do I make this sound better?
Yeah.
We've had issues at the start, which if you're a long time listener,
you would have heard.
If you've heard those first 2 or 3 episodes,
first 2 episodes,
they have issues. Change of laptop, solved it.
Yeah.
Then we were quiet.
Yeah.
Solved that.
Yeah.
Background noise, all that little hissy sound, gone.
Slowly worked out now, aren't they?
That's
all these little
gone.
kinks get smoothed out as we go along. Yeah.
Last week's episodes, dear listener, you might not know this, but they were rare. They were very, very quiet.
They were a little bit, weren't they?
So with a bit of magic
and know-how.
Now they sound louder.
Yeah, they did, and it also helps not to have your earphone levels really quiet on the phone and your phone volume right up, so it still sounds really quiet. Listeners, like I did. Why is it so quiet? Oh, hold on a minute, I'm breaking the Bluetooth barrier, but my actual earphones are on basically mute.
So,
but yeah,
but this is, I think plenty of people will look at anything, not just podcasting or editing or cars or whatever, but they'll look at stuff and just go, I can't do it.
Yeah.
They start with I can't, and then they never will.
Then it becomes I won't.
Yeah.
Whereas
I like to know things. I like to know how things work. I like to know how to make things better.
Yeah.
Like we can all press record.
Yeah.
But if you heard what was recorded as a raw file, the chances are you'd be like, well, this is nonsense, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's still stuff I'd play around with on these recordings and the editing. I would like so as a listener, you will hear Shaun and myself in different ears, sort of balanced. I think a lot of podcasts will have us both central.
Yeah, sort of mono, not stereo.
Yeah. Whereas I like to edit in a way that you feel like you're in the middle of a conversation.
Yeah.
Like
because that's what we said when we first listened to it.
Yeah.
Like that, didn't we? We said it's like you sat between a conversation of friends.
Yeah. And I think I personally like the way that sounds. But
I do. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the listeners think.
I know we haven't had any emails yet. Hint, hint. Cough, cough.
Yeah, send us a message. Let us know. Do you like the way it sounds? Do you like the way it's balanced? We can improve this podcast and the way it sounds based on feedback. At the moment, we're going on 2 people's feedback.
And they're the people who create it.
So we're slightly biased.
Yeah.
We need other people's feedback to say, do you know what? I'd like it more mono.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I'll walk around with one headphone in.
Yeah, so it's hard to hear.
So it's hard to hear the other person.
Yeah. But even that is a simple thing, isn't it? Yeah.
And by the way, if you do walk around one headphone in the way, there is a setting on your phone to change it all to mono. That's it. That's all.
Yeah. Know how with Jamie, he will tell you how to do that in next week's episode. but going back quick to the doing it yourself thing, and this is a funny point that I find now as an adult.
Yeah.
obviously we're a generation of like PlayStation and games and cartridges and stuff. As a child, if your game or DVD skipped, what would you do with it?
I would have cleaned it.
Every single kid knew that they had to just gently wipe the dust off of the CD, or they'd get one of those. Do you remember those little CD carriers you'd had, and it had a little fiber active cloth in there, and you would turn it around and clean it, and you'd have the little spray just to clean it properly, like glass cleaner and stuff like that.
I had the opposite years ago. It was a CD with a little brush on it.
Oh.
And it was to clean the optical reader within the CD drive itself.
Within the CD drive, because we used to have one of those as well.
Yeah.
So you'd put that in and play it, and then also you could have the thing. Now, and this is that thing that. So back then we all would have done that because my PlayStation game's not loading properly. Yeah. I'll take it out and give it a clean.
Or blow on the cartridge.
Blow on the cartridge, and then as you get older, you go, I don't know what to do with that now.
Yeah.
I can't take apart me PlayStation to clean the fan because it will lose its warranty. Why?
Yeah.
You know how to do it because you did it with the uncontrolled fingers of a 10-year-old. And then as you get older, you find but this is my little weird pointer. You find less and less people willing. More and more people will just go, I'll just buy a new DVD player.
Yeah, but that's
because it's easy. Whereas it's like you say, if you take it apart once and you say, I did this when I was younger. I've already taken something apart like 20 times before. Look at my first ever, Xbox or whatever upstairs, or my first Blu-ray player. Yeah. I've taken it apart and cleaned the fan about 3 times. And then you start to realise, I can actually do this.
Yeah.
I just need to re-find my tiny little miniature screwdrivers.
Yeah.
That's all I need to find.
That's what I did with the Mega Drive.
Yeah. I remember you fixing that up, actually. Yeah.
Pulled it apart, wasn't working. Then I actually did break it a bit more and I had to buy a replacement cable. But that's by the by.
But that's learning.
But yeah, I've learned from the mistakes there.
I remember you doing that actually. You sent me progress reports, didn't you?
Yeah.
Of that, yeah.
But I was really happy when it worked again.
Yeah.
Not to be specific and not to stereotype or overly generalize, but I think millennials have always had we've always got a bit of stick. I'm an early millennial.
Yeah, yeah.
You're a slightly later millennial.
Just by a couple of years, man.
But we grew up in a generation of learning computers and learning how things. So we grew up understanding how computers work.
Yeah.
People before us, some people learned how to use them. Not everybody. You'll find Generation X, and certainly boomers, will look at a computer or look at a screen and just go,
yeah.
What?
Yeah. What's that? Why is that doing that?
Now, like I say, it's a generalization, but it's not true of everybody. I know certain people who are probably better on computers, older than me, better on computers than I am by far.
Yeah.
But then the same can be also said about newer generation. So those youngsters are like my kids today. Everything's touchscreen.
Yeah.
They have probably zero technical knowledge about how anything works. They just open the app and hope it works.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, they go, it doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why does it not work? And there's millennials who don't know stuff, and
this is it.
There'll be those youngsters who will know, but I think we kind of sit at the sweet spot. I'm just going to big up millennials for a second here.
But we do, because we're still in the age when you think when we were young, computers had only just come out for home use anyway.
Yeah.
Some offices had big ones. Windows was only just a thing for consumers when we were old enough to use them.
Yeah, so I think I started at 3.1.
Yeah. But we also had to learn, and this is like getting your hands on it, we had to learn how to keep the tower clean, air-free, dust-free, stop it from overheating.
Yeah.
We had to understand how the phone line worked to access the internet.
That's right, yeah.
Because if your mum was on the phone, you weren't going online.
No.
And there weren't no touchscreen iPads and everything weren't all connected. You literally had one person doing one thing in your house at a time. That's if you could afford a computer.
Yes.
Because if you couldn't afford a computer, all your mates that had one would be rubbing it in and you'd be like, we can't afford a computer.
No.
So I'm going to have to go around matey's house to have a little go on Lemmings or Tetris or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Yeah.
Love lemons.
But it's that thing as well, and we had to know how it worked to use it back then. Whereas now, you attach your phone to Costa's Wi-Fi, and you can do whatever you want.
Now, I'm not any good at coding or anything like that. I'm not going to profess to be sort of all-knowing at that sort of thing.
Yeah, neither am I, by the way.
That's definitely a blind spot of mine.
Yeah.
But if I wanted to pull a computer apart, like when I was a teenager, I'd just strip a computer down.
Oh yeah.
All the hardware would come out, clean it up, put it all back together. I'd do. We just call it factory reset now, but it was a proper
take it apart physical reset as well, because you had to clean the fan yourself. Though you weren't just like taking it for a service at Curry's or whatever. No. You had to take the back off, gently pull the fan out, not scratching anything, dust it, because air canisters back then were big meaty things that you wouldn't just have in your front room. No. You couldn't buy them little handheld
you'd have a little compressor,
air pressurised things, But yeah, and that's what I was saying about the PlayStations and that before. You used to take your PS1s apart, and the PS2s. You used to have to take the top off to clean them, because you couldn't just hoover the fan and hope that it worked a bit better.
No, because it doesn't work, because it just spins the fan and nothing changes.
No dust comes off.
Yeah,
because dust is actually, it's kind of porous. It sticks to stuff, doesn't it?
It does, it really does.
So yeah, same as that. We're in that weird and like, my dad can use a phone. Yeah. And my dad can use like an Xbox and a computer, and he doesn't know loads of stuff, but he can use it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if only because he was in the army would he be able to take something apart and fix it. Say he'd never been in the army and his generation hadn't had computers up till now, it'd be a lot different for somebody like my dad. He'd be like, how do you do this?
Yeah,
like I can use my phone, but I have no idea how to attach this or take it apart to do this.
It is. I think sometimes it is tricky, but these days I think they also make it so it's much harder than it was.
Yeah.
To get involved and to,
because they want you to break the warranty and they want you to send it back and spend 50 quid on repairing your phone.
Yeah.
Instead of just being like, oh, you can flip the back off here and have a little look yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Same for batteries,
Yeah, you used to be able to swap the batteries out in your old phones.
Swap the batteries out. You could buy spare batteries.
Yeah.
Rechargeable batteries, and you think even your switches and stuff of today, the first ever Game Boy used 4 AA batteries.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't be able to do that now because AA batteries are worth so much. But you had to keep an eye on them not rusting over.
Mm-hmm.
You had to make sure that no dust got in the component of the Game Boy. Imagine a young kid now having to take apart one of today's consoles to clean it.
Couldn't.
Because it couldn't work,
Yeah.
But there we go, yeah. But he can take a horse and cart apart and put it all back together again, bones and all.
Yeah, sometimes physical stuff is just easier, I think.
Yeah.
If you understand how it works and you understand what bit's supposed to go where, it's fine. But if you don't quite understand it, sometimes it's
a bit daunting. That's what I mean with cars. I need to get a bit more involved than just changing a battery or a light bulb or the simple stuff.
Yeah, but at least you can do that.
Yeah.
It's almost worrying how many people don't know how to do the
battery
base
change.
Yeah, the light bulb. Some light bulbs are difficult.
Yeah,
granted, but majority of them, all you got to do is flex your hand around. It's not an easy thing sometimes, but it's easy enough.
Yeah.
Changing a wheel, changing a tyre.
Oh, changing a tyre, yeah. The amount of times.
Oh, people just stand there going, oh. So much so, you've got this where you work, I've got it where I work. There's no spare wheels. There's no. If you get a puncture,
you have to call the RAC. Yeah,
you've got to wait for
any other sort of place.
You could be waiting for 2 hours.
Yeah.
For somebody to turn up and change that wheel.
Yeah.
Which is a job that you should be able to do yourself
in about half an hour. If you got the know-how when you know exactly where to put the crank underneath to take the wheel off and stuff like that, it won't take you that long.
No.
And if you're actually, more so my job, if you're on the side of a street somewhere, either somebody will come and rob you, or somebody will come and give you a hand.
Yeah.
And more likely they'll come and give you a hand, and you'll be like, oh, can you just hold that there? And then I can quickly do this and crack on, sort of thing.
Yeah.
They don't even have spare tyres in the vans now.
No, it's nuts, isn't it?
And you think most, but this is the thing about the job where I'm at the moment. most of the old boys are old school, aren't they? So they know how to change a tyre.
Oh yeah.
Some of the newbies wouldn't know. They don't even know how to use the air pressure thing.
But isn't that mind blowing?
Yeah, crazy.
Isn't that concerning?
Yeah. Well, but I've always thought this, and I like how we've gone on to this, because I always think, obviously, you talk about when we were at school, we did like IT, because computers had just come out, and they were like, right, you have to do IT lessons. You have to. You have to do a language, an IT, maths and science and English. That was the big thing when we were growing up. I don't know what it's like now. There was less choice back then, kids. You didn't have to, you were told basically what half your GCSEs were based on what the country wanted you to do. But they never once, and it's like when you go and do your driving test in your college, school, whatever, life, nobody ever said, right, we're going to show you here how to change a tyre on a car, because 90% of you are going to be driving and 90% of you need to know this.
Because it might just happen.
It might just happen. And when you go for your driving test, you go, I didn't do mechanics in college, so I don't know how to change a tyre.
Yeah.
And you're going,
shouldn't need to have a mechanics course.
Shouldn't need to have a mechanics course, But this is the thing. You would think that because cars are such a prominent factor of our lives, just like with the IT thing, it should be 1 hour a week, everybody goes and watches teacher, whatever.
Like a cycling proficiency test.
Yeah, almost. Yeah.
Basic,
I know you're at school and
car
you can't
basics
touch it.
101.
Yeah. This week, I know you're all still in school, but put your gloves on. We're just going to change a light bulb in Mr. Whatever's car.
Yeah.
Or this car that the school's got lying around. Not even college. Maybe just school. So it's like when you get older and you have a car, you're going to need to know. And cars are on the road so much, and yet it's kind of the government as well, but before I get taken away. But you think that they would almost say, right, we need to get these kids learnt up on how dangerous and heavy and sort of the knowledge needed to have a car.
Yeah.
Because you think you do your driving test and you pass because you're a good driver, you can use the wheel and stay in a lane on a road. But that doesn't mean you've got the know-how how to not kill somebody with a car because you don't know if your tyre's going to fall off or not, and you're going to swerve off the road and hit somebody. Yeah. Sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's that sweet spot, isn't it, of you think as you're growing up, the important things would be sort of looked at, but they're kind of not.
They're not, no. So I didn't know this. And have you heard of T levels?
No.
Right. So these are things that exist. This is now. So you could do A levels at school. When we were at school, A levels were a thing, but now there's T levels.
Right.
And I think they're to do with technical sort of levels instead of doing English and maths and science or whatever as an A level. You now do more practical.
Oh, okay. So everything I said might be mute here.
But you'd still have to opt for that. I suppose you wouldn't if you were just sitting there going, well, I can do English and I can do maths. You're probably going to do A levels.
Yeah.
But if you're not academically minded, you might go, well, I'm better with my hands, so I'll go and do that. So you still got the same problem where some people are going to take that practical skill on, but they were always going to do that.
Yeah.
They were the kids who were doing woodwork at school, who were doing...
messing around with skateboards, you know, fixing up stuff, helping Dad put his bike back
They're
together.
doing the T levels because it's what they feel comfortable doing. But that doesn't help those people who are just doing the academic stuff. But it's interesting. They've only been around for a few years, and I didn't even know anything about them. I only found out about them last year.
Right.
Because I was talking to someone who she did recruitment for the NHS, and she was talking about people think if you apply for a job at the NHS, you're either going to be a doctor or a nurse.
Yeah.
But actually, you could be a mechanic, you could be an electrician, you could be a plumber, you could do any job you can think of in the world is probably applicable
to the NHS
within the NHS, because they have a core group of people, and sometimes they need people with those T levels now to come and do those jobs.
How crazy!
Yeah,
how crazy is that?
So there's a little bit of homework for you.
Yeah,
find out and research what is a T level.
Right. Okay. I'll let you know next week. I'll actually do that in next week's class.
Yeah.
Classroom with Jamie Barton.
Yeah, Sherry won't like that.
Sir. But yeah, what mad conversation, But that's good about the T level stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
But then what they're doing is that choicing again.
Yeah.
It should be, right, you're all going to do a bit of this.
Well, it's just you get to the fork, and sometimes those people who don't do so well at the academic stuff will get to the end of year 11.
They'll be like, I only got D's.
And they'll be like, right, I'm going to go and work now.
Yeah.
And they're going to get an apprenticeship at a garage or a
Carpenters or something like that.
Yeah, doing whatever. Because they feel like they can't progress with the A levels.
Yeah.
But then the whole world feels like, well, you need to get a degree to get a proper job.
Yeah.
Which is
absolute bollocks.
But these T levels now, I think, give them the chance to apply themselves a little further. And because you've got the T level, I think you can then take that into university and you can make more out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's actually quite good to know if that is the case, because obviously when we were growing up, there was nothing like that. No. You had to wait till you went to college, and your little counsellor before you went to college, she was like, "What do you think you're going to take in college then?" And if you said anything other than your GCSE choices, she's like, "You should carry on your GCSEs," and you're like, "I'm only doing maths, English, and science. I don't want to carry them on. I like drama. I'm doing drama GCSE," and then they go,
"I want to sing."
Yeah, and they're going, "Oh, I don't really know about that. What type of job do you want to do?" But then that was it, wasn't it? It's that thing again, you know. And now maybe if they go in there and say, "Well, I'm going to take these T levels instead," and they can go, "Right, well, that's really good. But this is the thing they're going to do. They're going to say, well, if you're doing T levels in this, go and do this in college."
Yeah.
Because it's just furthering the knowledge of what you've got.
Yeah.
And they go, "No, I'm only doing that in school because I can't do this other thing. Like, I don't actually want to be an airplane mechanic when I grow up. Yeah. I'm just doing it because it's easier for me to do as a kid and absorb the knowledge for sort of thing." Yeah. This is where the government come knocking on my door. Can you stop going on about how the British, learning system works? Stop trying to fix it.
Well, I think that's a good place to wrap up, and
okay.
Be really interested to hear if anybody's got any points to add to that.
Yeah, please get in touch. The emails are all on the they're on the Instagram, and all of the contact points are on the Podbean and stuff like that.
In the show notes, they'll be in there. Yeah, it's nice to put the world to rights.
Yeah.
Not that it's going to change anything, but it's nice.
Yeah.
So anyway, lovely chatting to you as always,
to you, mate, and to you.
Enjoy the rest of the day.
Yeah, day off.
Yeah,
taking it as well. It's weird.
Yeah, very weird. Look after yourself.
Yeah, be good.
And stay out of the sand.